In a world where we must RGB all the things, I need to ask, do we really need to RGB all the things? Probably not, but I have a chair that says otherwise. I've also got a shirt that isn't RGB, but it's something that will give you some variety to spice things up. T-Blocks is a subscription service that aims to send you shirts that are tailored to your interests. When you sign up, you can pick from up to 10 different categories, including, but not limited to, games, DC, Marvel, anime, and more. For $8.99 per month or $6.99 when you overcloth with a 12-month prepay, you can expect a new shirt delivered to your door each month with a different design within one of your selected categories. They offer two options at the moment: a standard T-Blocks where they send you officially licensed shirts from the aforementioned categories, or the community blocks where they send you shirts with designs from contributing artists. There are also plans to release a premium block soon, which comes with a licensed shirt and a couple of relevant goodies. There are so many designs, I'd go so far as to say it's practically infinity fabric. They sent me a sample, and I gotta say, wow. If you want to check them out, you'll find a link to their site in the description, and if you want to save 10% on your entire order, you can use the code ALittleDIMMTBX at checkout. The Gamdias Achilles P1 RGB gaming chair is more or less exactly what it sounds like, with a mildly concerning name. Why you would name a chair whose most common failure points tend to be in the base or the wheels after Achilles, someone who is known for being virtually indestructible everywhere except for his heels, is beyond me, but we'll talk more about that later. The instructions were clear and simple, making construction pretty easy. The entire process took less than 20 minutes or so, and I don't have any complaints there. From the bottom of the chair, we have 5 plastic wheels that feel fairly sturdy, a steel base advertised to support up to 440 pounds or about 200 kilograms for those of you with particularly large aspirations, the gas lift, which is practically a fart joke in itself, a leg rest, the leather-styled vinyl material memory foam bucket seat with diamond stitching and perforation for keeping your butt cool as can be, accompanied by a long USB cable that I'll talk about shortly, a lumbar pillow, the armrests that are 4D, more on that in a bit, the backrest, which features similar stitching and material to remain consistent with your butt bucket, the headrest pillow with more memory foam, and finally, the RGB zone in the back, customizable with the Hera software. To feed that RGB, Gamdias provides a 75-ish inch or roughly 1.9 meter USB extension cable. Plug that cable in, set up your lighting, then you're free to untether yourself from the PC and power the chair with a battery bank or otherwise. But don't worry, Achilles doesn't just let it hang out, he tucks it in. As for effects, you get the following: breathing, allowing you to select a color and control speed, wave with direction, brightness, and speed control, neon, which is basically a color shift, blink, an effect I personally never agree with, so it's a good thing you can't see it, 7-color wave, an effect that isn't quite as smooth as I'd like, but that's what the regular wave setting is for. Random light, a kind of soft, smooth rainbow effect. Rotate, which I think should have been called Red Bull. Static, with brightness control. Run 7 wave, I don't know why it's running, but I'm glad it is, because it looks kinda cool. And cross. I'm not really sure why it's called that, but it feels kind of bubbly and I like it. Now that we've covered the flash, let's move over to the function. The lone lever on the left locks or unlocks tilt on the chair's base. The gas lift is the lever on the right side, giving you about 10 centimeters worth of adjustment, bringing the chair as low as 55 centimeters off the ground or as high as 65 centimeters up. The second little lever to the right adjusts the angle of the backrest, allowing 150 degrees of lean back when used in conjunction with the base tilt. Alternatively, you can punch it a few degrees forward for super intense focus mode. The 4D armrests have 2 points of interaction, one on the outside for height adjustment, and the button on the inside that unlocks the remaining movements. Achilles, being as strong and flexible as he is, allows for about 2 inches, 5 centimeters of forward and backwards movement, 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters of side to side, about 15 degrees of swivel, and 3 inches, or 7.62 centimeters of height adjustment. Now, arguably the most important part about the chair is the comfort. This is going to vary a bit for everyone since your butt is probably different and better shaped than mine. But my experiences with the chair are pretty positive. The leg rest I initially thought was going to be some cheap gimmick, but its construction is sturdy and the padding is comfortable. I don't use it when I'm sitting at my desk, but when I'm watching TV or playing on a console, it's definitely an awesome thing to have. It's kind of short, so it'll most likely only support your calves. Achilles probably isn't willing to go near anyone's heels, but it's still good enough in my opinion. The seat is fairly comfortable, not too soft, not too stiff, and I didn't notice it get particularly warm, but it is winter and my opinion may change when the temperatures rise. The perforation in the seat probably helps with breathability, but that in tandem with the diamond stitching means Achilles may be reminiscent of the high school bully and give you a bit of a wedgie every time you slide forward. You might notice this kind of raised area in the middle. I'm going to refer to this as the Achilles package. I've tried sitting in a few different positions, including legs crossed and making the number 4, whatever that's called, and the Achilles package is soft enough so that it never bothered me. Being a bucket seat, there are raised edges. There is a metal frame in there, but it's sufficiently padded so you won't hurt yourself if you roll on it the wrong way. Some of the sitting positions I mentioned earlier probably won't be too comfortable unless you can fit your feet within the bucket though. The lumbar pillow I find overall, because it looks like straps on overalls, a little too stiff out of the box, but after a few weeks of use, it's broken in nicely and complements the chair well, especially since without it, it's easy to slide your butt all the way back. The chair has memory foam all along the seat, but there's an incline where the base meets the backrest. Not that it feels bad, but because of the change in angle, the distribution of pressure is noticeably different, and I'm not sure if I like my butt stimulated in that way. The armrests are removable and composed of a dense kind of padding sporting a slight texture with really fine grooves, making it pretty satisfying to the touch. No comfort complaints there. The backrest, without the lumbar pillow, is noticeably less padded than the seat. It's not super firm, but it's definitely not as impressive as the treatment your butt gets. Keeping the pillow on makes this pretty much negligible. The backrest also has these kind of shoulder flaps. I was initially concerned that I would feel too much of the frame, but it's pretty well padded and contours to my back nicely. The pillow for your head is a gift straight from the Greek gods. It's a different kind of memory foam than the lumbar pillow, being a lot softer and way more satisfying to squish. My only complaint here is I wish I could bring it to my neck. The body of the chair and the length of the strap prevent it from going much lower, and I come up too short in more ways than one. Speaking of coming up too short, it's time to address the Achilles heel. Or heels. This first thing, I probably can't fault the chair itself for. One of the armrests came damaged out of the box, and for this, I blame FedEx. Something else that may be related is the same armrest kind of buckles if I put too much weight on it. On the topic of armrests, the release mechanisms and movements are a bit stiff, but that's not a huge issue to me since I imagine it'll be a set it and forget it kind of deal for the majority of people. The vertical adjustment triggers on the side I think would be better placed in the front so you can align your arm as you adjust it. And if I were to be nitpicky, there's one spot where the trim is a bit frayed, I'm afraid. Last thing I want to mention isn't the chair's fault, it's all me. I am like the worst person to be in a quiet room with. I fidget, I tap my leg, I tap my fingers, I tap everything. And because of that, my leg bumps into the leg rest when it's retracted into the seat, which makes the metal rails rattle. To the same effect, the little zipper on the head pillow can also be heard when it's shaken. And finally, the LEDs. The lighting itself looks good, though in a pretty well lit room, it does appear a little washed out. Looks great in the dark, and there's only a bit of hot spotting where the diffuser meets the chair. But here's my issue with RGB on a seat. You'll never see it. If you're a streamer, your audience will never see it. Which is going to make my next complaint sound odd because I sort of wish there was a better implementation of the lighting on the software's end. All of the effects cycle through colors or pick colors at random with the exception of static and breathing. If I could pick one or two colors and apply some of the included effects to those, or even better, individually address the LEDs, that'd be really lit. The only application where I find LEDs on a chair useful is if you bring your chair to a LAN party, or if you're on a show floor, or if you have friends over and you want to impress them for 30 seconds. But that's kind of the whole point. RGB on a chair serves no functionality. It's just there so you can show off the size of your RGB-ness. And obviously, the bigger the better. So in that case, why not go all out? Why not give me some underarm underglow, or extend the diffuser so the lights can be seen from the front? What about a slick RGB bar on top, or a lit up logo, or maybe something dumb like a reading lamp? How about some glow under the seat or the wheelbase? You can put underglow on a car, and a chair is practically a car minus the rest of the car, so I don't see why not. Additionally, a built-in battery would be nice, or maybe an included power bank or something. For the amount this thing costs, I think I'm entitled to it. The Achilles P1's asking price on Amazon is $460 or about $400 if you can find it at Best Buy. And for that amount of cash, you are competing with the big boys. Literally. Like the DX Racer King series. 2 of my friends have DX Racer King chairs, and I've gingerly placed my butt in both of them. The chairs, not my friends. Yes, I have friends. Yes, plural. The DX Racer is wider, so there's a bit more room to wiggle around, but I like the padding and support that the Achilles provides way more. Though, take this with a grain of salt, my friends have owned their chairs for like a year, so they're sufficiently broken in, while mine is still young and I haven't fully asserted myself onto it yet. And lastly, this is going to sound stupid, but for $460, I can afford it. I'm going to complain about the cable. Half of me expected it to be braided, but even if it's not, it just looks like something grabbed off of the shelf of a warehouse or something. Like there's text on it and everything. In conclusion, the chair itself is really comfortable, though with a bucket-style seat, your expectations should be somewhat realistic depending on your sitting positions. I haven't noticed any heat buildup under my butt, but winter is here and the night is dark and full of terrors. Yes, it's a Game of Thrones reference. This is the throne in which I game, so it's relevant and appropriate, I think. The Achilles wheel is actually not the Achilles heel. They roll really smoothly on tile or wood, and they're satisfactory on carpet. The steel base is said to hold up to 1,200 kilograms or 2645 pounds on Gamdias' site, but if you're that heavy, a chair probably isn't very high on your priority list. Or maybe it's the highest thing on your priority list. The advertised maximum load on the chair is 200 kilograms or about 440 pounds, and based on what I've experienced so far, I believe it. Overall build quality is excellent aside from the shipping damage, unless I'm being egregiously nitpicky about small things like some slight fraying, and comfort is way up there. 460 US is a lot for a chair, but Gamdias also has the Achilles M1 and E1, which lose the leg rest and the 4D armrests, replacing them with 2D ones instead. You can find the E1 for about $270 and the M1 for about $340, depending on where you look. So if you can live without the bells and whistles, but not without the RGB, those would be a good place to start. While the RGB leaves a bit to be desired in terms of customization and number of zones, the Gamdias Achilles chair really kills it everywhere else. And so that's all I have to say about that. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share, leave me questions if you got them. Thanks for watching. My name is Steven, and I am ALittleDIMM. Bye-bye. Someone who is known for being virtually indestructible everywhere except for his heels is beyond me. Did I emphasized the wrong word. Someone known for being virtually indestructible. Oh, I did it on the wrong word again. Someone who is known for being virtually indestructible everywhere. Oh. No, I don't like that one. The leather-styled vinyl material memory. Ooh, that's a long string of adjectives. Now that we've covered the flash, let's move over to the function. The lone lever. Hold on. Achilles being as strong and flexible as he is, now that I think about it, 2 inches or 1 inch or whatever the last measurement was, I think it's 3 inches or something. That's really not that flexible or strong, I guess. I mean, it is for armrest chair armrest, but maybe that's not a good analogy, since your butt is probably different and better shaped than mine, but my experiences. And the Achilles package is soft enough so that whoopsie. The lumbar pillow I find overall. Oh, my thumb cracked. Oh, my other thumb cracked. Everything's cracking. Again, this first thing, I probably can't fault the chair itself. Fault with a T. Yeah, my high school English teacher always told me to enunciate, and she just made fun of me because I had speaking issues. That's never gonna get out of my head. I probably can't fault the chair form. The chair itself, man. The steel base is said to hold up to 12. Oh, I cracked. While the RGB leaves a bit to be desired in terms of customization. That was almost like a beat or something.